What's up, gamers? This is NGG here with another review video. This time it is of Monster Hunter Rise. This is another multiplayer review, so of course we have a co-host with us today. It is Manako, and he's going to introduce himself and introduce his channel.
Hey everyone, my name is Manako97 here today to talk about everything and anything new upcoming for anime-based video games, and I'm happy to be a part of this review and alongside NGG for this one.
And we are glad to have him. This review is based off the non-DLC. I didn't play past HR 7 so that I could review the game with just the base game alone and not any of the DLC that they're adding afterwards. I'll probably maybe add the DLC as a separate review that I do, but for right now this is just on the base game, what you bought in the store on day one of purchasing it. So let's get into gameplay first before we start talking about the multiplayer. So with gameplay, it's a lot of the whole big thing is boss battles, right? Like every battle you're in is a boss battle. Like there's no, very rarely is there like little filler in there, but to me it's a boss battle RPG. This generation of Monster Hunter introduced these wire bugs and these palamutes. So the kitties are back from the last game. And so this one introduced the palamutes, which are rideable. You can heal on them. You can sharpen your blade while running. It's just something you can't do when you don't have the palamute out. When you're walking, you have to stop and sharpen your blade or heal yourself, whereas when you're riding the dog, you can do the palamute. You can do that while you're on him. We also have the wire bug, which I am not that great with. I don't know how you are doing with the wire bug, but I was trying to attack the enemy with the wire bug, and I couldn't. I don't know if it's my weapon didn't have that ability. Did your weapon have the wire bug ability, or you just didn't use it either?
No, my weapon didn't have that ability either. Not to mention, I wasn't very good at the wire bugs other than getting to across the map and stuff like that. But the wire bug techniques and many techniques in this game are still very new to me since I've only done the multiplayer part. It wasn't very experimental with abilities, cooking, and all the other items and trinkets that this game offers.
Right. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I actually did the cooking, but the one mission that it required, it's the only time. Right. In the generations, I felt like I had to, but with this one, your box always had some rations in it, and so 3 was always enough for me. So I never felt like I needed the more than the 3 that you could take. There was always 3, 6, 9, 12 in the box if you played multiplayer. I think there was 6 in the box if you played single player. Might have been just 3, but I never felt like I needed the rations, so more than what I had. So I didn't cook in this game. Did you cook in this game?
No, not really. A lot of stuff they kind of give you at the start of the level, and I didn't try to go anything past that because it's pretty one and done. The missions itself are pretty standard and somewhat easy for the most part, so I never feel like I had to go above and beyond or over equip myself or be over prepared for certain missions and stages.
Okay. So there's the crafting system I liked in this. I don't know if you did the crafting inside the box, but I love that all you had to do was put how many you wanted and boom, it'd be done. So much better than Animal Crossing. I don't remember that being a thing in the other game. It might have been, but I really, really like that you can craft in the box. I loved the layer armor. You got the DLC, right, as well? Or did you get the base pack?
Yeah, the dog and the cat. I got the dog and the cat DLC, but other than that, I just got a bunch of skins.
You got the pre-order one? Let me see your box. Let me see what you got. Which one you
Well,
purchased?
what you call it? You gave me the pre-order one because I got the
Okay,
regular
so you
version.
didn't get so the deluxe edition had like
Yeah,
a special
yeah, I got
this
the pre-order
this
from you.
thing. So
Yeah, I didn't
the
get
pre-order
that.
with the deluxe edition, you got this skin for both your thing, and the dog and the cat had a collar. I think the pre-order bonus was so much nicer than the regular edition. That's just me. We exclusively used, like, once we figured out how to put the layered armor on, because it doesn't really, I don't know that it told me. It was a lot of figuring out how to put down that layered armor set. But once we figured it out, my cat and my dog never changed their layered armor set. And I would change every now and again to the armor that I had, but the layer armor that they give you was nice, but the pre-order layer armor for the cat and dog was so much better than what the deluxe edition gave you. And the only reason I bought the deluxe edition is because it came with the collector's edition up there. And so, if I wanted the collector's edition, I had to get the deluxe edition.
So the armor is very useful, especially at the beginning of the stage, or especially at the beginning when you play this game, because you'll be taking like a lot of damage or lose a lot of health, and most of that boils down to if you had upgrade your armor or how far ahead of your armor is compared to like your weapon or your level. Because no matter what level, if you're like HR 6 or 7, etc., if you have very weak armor, you're going to take damage way easier than being a lower rank and having high ranking armor. So that's a huge deal, especially when you start out the game than focusing on your weapons.
Right. I didn't really focus on my weapons. What I did was the armor, and like I was fine until HR 6. Then I had to really focus on like abilities and like making sure that I had the right armor for the right monster I was fighting, because before that I didn't feel like I ever had to worry about, okay, I'm fighting an ice dragon, so what, I had ice armor that fire armor, it wasn't gonna I didn't feel like it was a hindrance. But once you got to HR 6, that all changed. You had to make sure you had, like, if you're fighting a fire, you want to have water equipped on your sword as well. Like, I didn't think those through, and then I was like, oh, okay, I might need to start paying attention to what I'm doing here. And I'm gonna put this out here that this is just my second Monster Hunter game, so I am not at all an experienced player. I'm still very much a noob when it comes to Monster Hunter. How many Monster Hunter games have you played?
I've played 3. My first one was on the PSP. The third one was on the 3DS. Like not like generation. I think it was literally just called Monster Hunter 3DS. And then this is like my third one. So I've played 3 altogether.
Okay, and this is just my second. So you have one up on me. Okay. What else? You said the weapons. I like that they had a skill tree. They had a skill tree for the weapons, but they also, like, if you didn't want to use the skill tree, it would just be which ones were available for upgrading. But I like to look at the skill tree to see what weapon was coming next, and what if it had a next weapon, and if it had more customization and stuff like that, and what I would need. I don't think the other version would tell you, because it wasn't on a tree. It would just tell you what you could use. Did you experiment with that?
What you call it, with the skill tree with the weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've messed with the skill tree with the weapons a lot. I'm not a fan of it, really, just because a lot of it has to do with, replayability and like fighting the same monsters and stuff like that. But it's a balance between that and going to like these open world, like these hub mission areas where you would kind of just pick up items and ingredients. So it's definitely, it's a field day, as I say the least, where it's a combined effort of both killing monsters repeatedly for that item and to also go into the open missions to gather ingredients, items, stuff like that, etc. So it's quite a field day to get that skill tree, get a certain weapon that you want to grab.
Right. I think for me, I never actually grinded for anything very specific. I always just, whatever I collected, that would be what I had. Like, I never went looking. Did you go looking?
During the beginning stages, yeah, and then once I got a certain one I was comfortable with, or that was the most powerful, then I stopped, because during the beginning stages that took up quite a lot of time, as it did. So then once I was just comfortable with a powerful weapon, I just stuck with that throughout the whole experience, or game rather.
So there was an arena thing, a challenge that made you try other
Switch
weapons.
Yeah.
I was not with it. I was like, and the thing is that they gave me a sword and shield, right? You would think a charge blade is a sword and shield that changes into an axe blade, and you would think I would be comfortable using the sword and shield, but I wasn't, because I never had my person on sword and shield for only enough to charge the blade, and then I can go swinging my charge blade. And for the most part, that's what I would do. I would just swing my charge blade. But I found that my weapon was a little too slow at times. There were some monsters that were super fast, and I was like, I can't hit them because they just move too fast, and my charge blade is such a bulky, slow weapon. Did you ever find that with your heavy gunner, that your weapon was just too slow?
No, the heavy gunner weapon was fine, but I did notice in that challenge mode that you were talking about, they had actually gave me a light gun. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's not much different, you would think, right? Then I realized, even though I had more bullets with the light gun, my charge bullets were like 10 times slower than like my heavy gun bullets. I was like, all right, this is an issue, because I can't do as much damage, and I'm forced to pick or play with a class and I'm totally not used to. And then, not to mention, with the light gun, you would plant them in the ground and not just shoot it directly at them. So I had that same issue with the challenges modes as well, where I had to pick a class where I'm really not used to playing, but had to get, comfortable with it and experiment to complete the mission and everything.
Right. So let's see, what other modes did they have? So they had the arena challenges, which we talked about. The exploratory missions, which I don't think I really did it, but like the ones. I was like, all right, let me do this explore mission. But I never did those egg. Did you ever do those egg challenges?
No, I didn't either. I didn't even touch them.
I was like, this ain't for me. This is too slow. I don't know what would drop this egg, and eventually, how am I gonna bring that egg all the way to the roof? So I never did that challenge. I know in the village quest, there are a couple of quests which require you to learn how to use that charge bug. Oh my god, I hated though. You didn't do the village quest, right?
Right, exactly. Not a single one.
He's like, nah, I left those village quests alone. Yeah, no, the village quests, so I guess it was to teach you how to use the wire bug, but those were annoying because I can't, just so you guys are aware, I don't platform well. I am not a platformer player, so trying to platform on in a game that only, and how many they would only give you two little, you could only use them consecutively twice, unless you found an extra third one on the ground. So like if you missed your shot, and your character wouldn't really climb up, like they would climb sideways to me, and then sometimes you'd be right there at the edge and they wouldn't climb up, they would just climb sideways. I'm like, come on, I'm right there. Just move up a little bit. Did you experience that too, or you always got your mark?
Yeah, no, I experienced that a lot of times, where it'd either be sideways, and if they did go upward, it would only be to a certain amount. There's no grabbing onto a ledge, unfortunately. It's either you got the wire bugs or you don't, so there's really no, like you said, precision platforming in this game. If you just don't go over your mark, then you're just pretty much gonna fall down.
Right. And so there's that, and then there was what else was there?
The gates.
I feel like the gates.
Yeah, you had these like gate modes where all the monsters would come in, and you would have to set up your base in order for them not to knock down the gates.
Rampage quest. Yes, the Rampage quest. Oh man, I was playing with somebody who hated. I don't remember who it was who hated it. I know it wasn't you. But I was playing with somebody who hated the Rampage quest, and I'm like, yo, these things are my favorite. They don't take that long to slay these monsters. You set up your cannons, you set up your arrows. You can do the auto ones. You can do the ones that you actually mount. I hated the and I know that it's so that you don't stay there sitting on one of these weapons. But the monsters would charge at you when you're sitting at them. So they're like, nah, get your double crooked letter off of this and fight us. Did you like the Rampage quests, or they weren't for you?
Let's see. I like them more than the regular missions, I would say that much. And then not to mention the Rampage ones normally take place during the story mode cutscenes, or, after you hit your rank to continue to the next one. So I thought it was pretty cool. You can die as many times as you want to. Very fun with multiple players, especially online. And like I said, normally it takes place during like a cutscene or story progression. So it was cool for me.
Yeah, I really, really liked the Rampage quest. There were not enough of them for me, because I felt like it was every other HR quest to rank up was a Rampage quest. It wasn't every one. Sometimes it was a really difficult monster to rank up, and then other times it was a Rampage quest. I'm like, yeah, we need more of these Rampage quests. These things are fun. And I had forgotten a lot of the stuff. I never got an extra cat. I never got an extra dog, just because I couldn't figure out how I wanted to buy them and what they did. I know they go on separate missions on the side, but I didn't do any of that, just because I wasn't experimental with the stuff I couldn't remember. How about you? Did you do any of that extra buying of the extra animals to do the side missions?
No.
He's like, no.
Nah, as soon as I booted up the game and got done to the tutorial, I went straight to online and was just ready to get going.
Alright, I know I was in a room where somebody was like, oh, you don't need to eat. And I was like, no, you definitely do, because it boosts your stamina and your health 50%. And then it also, whatever buff you put on, it has a probability. Some are higher probability and some are lower. I always used to use the defense one, the hit one, and the immunizer one. Did you have a dongo that was your go-to dongo?
Yeah, I had two actually. I had the extended run. For that was a main one of mine, and another one was to not get I guess it was bounce back, or it's very weird. They use the word but in the sentence, so I'm trying to say it not so abruptly, but it was don't get hit on your butt so often was my two main ones. It was running stamina and not get hit on your butt as often in a match. So those were my main two, and then the other ones I just had to read and make sure they were appropriate for said mission.
Okay, now let's get into controls. Did you find that the controls were easy to understand or hard to understand?
So before the game had came out, they had these I wasn't really a demo. They were this beta, short-term demo thing. So that's when I learned how the game functioned and everything. And then when the game fully released, I was like, well, I played the demo or the beta, whatever it was called, before the game originally had dropped. So I was pretty much comfortable. That's why I really didn't do the story mode, really, because since I played the demo, I had already know how this game had functioned and played. So I just went straight to online. So during that short amount of time when the demo was active, I just learned and screenshotted and just read through the controls, and then when the base game came out, my knowledge was already there to start playing with people.
Right. I did play the demo, but I'm not gonna lie, when we played the demo together, you totally carried me, because I couldn't remember how to charge my blade. I couldn't remember how to swing my blade. I'm like, I could only use my charge blade as sword and shield, and I'm like, no, I don't know how to use this. I had forgotten. I feel like Monster Hunter, at least for me, this is just me, I feel like Monster Hunter is one of those games that if you don't play it in a while, you forget the controls. For me anyway, I couldn't control anything, and I had played Generations, so it's not like I was a noob, but like I couldn't figure out the controls in the very beginning, so I was frustrated playing the demo, and I'm gonna be honest, it kind of like threw me off. I was like, maybe I don't want to pick up the game because I'm having such a hard time with these controls. But you know, because I knew I had like Generations, and I knew once you get it, right? It takes a little bit to get this game, but I feel like if you have somebody helping you to get it, you get it. I feel bad for players who don't have somebody to help them play and learn the mechanics, because it's so much harder to learn this game. I think this kind of game on your own. Talk about the story, because then we'll flesh out to the online. So the story is super simple. I'm gonna be honest, like that I remember most of the story is not really. I know the base story in the village quest is Magna Malo. You gotta hunt down Magna Malo and defeat him to save the village, to save Komora village. And that was like the big thing in this game.
The hub world has to deal with the two sisters, and one of the sisters is like connected to like one of the monsters or gets possessed by one of them. So that's what the hub world story takes place with that one. It has to deal with the sisters pretty much, and them being connected to the monsters of the gates. That's why I was saying, I was like, yeah, for some reason the Rampage quest in the multiplayer part has cutscenes, so yeah.
Yeah. So I did like that the hub world had its own story mode. Like, Magna Malo was fightable there, but he wasn't the boss like he was in the village quest. Like,
right.
Like, you had to breeze past him, not breeze past him because he was not a breeze, but you had to go past him to continue the storyline in the multiplayer. And so there's that. I did like that there were two separate stories. So like, if you did the village quest on your own, you had a story mode, and if you did the hub quest with friends, you had another story mode. I mean, you could do it by yourself, like I said. There is somebody I knew that was playing the hub quest by themselves, but I don't know why, but they were. So there's that. All right, let's get into the multiplayer, which is where you spent most of your experience. I'll let you start on the multiplayer aspect since I've had the floor for most of the time.
Multiplayer, no, sure, I can do that. Multiplayer is definitely, like NGG said, it's a lot harder than the base game or the single player part of the game. You definitely want to have friends to tag along, and other than that, it's pretty simple up until you get to is it Magna Malo? Is that the purple one?
Magna Malo is the purple guy.
Yeah, it's multiplayer is fine up until you get to Magna Malo.
This guy, right?
There she goes. She even has the amiibo. yeah, that one. She even has the amiibo for it. Perfect. Yeah, that's like HR6 or like HR5 going to HR6. It's like one of those upper ranking ones. Mm-hmm. Then the game starts to get extremely difficult and hard, to where you have to like have, it seems like you have to have higher ranking players, which for most people that play Monster Hunter or these style of games may seem normal, but it definitely does put a hold and like makes you want to like replay the previous ones like over and over, like repeatedly, to like get to a certain point. Is just like, am I ever gonna beat this one? Which you do, like you do get a chance to get to Magna Malo and other ones, but after that threshold they become more mature than like you learning the game and the mechanics, and it just more becomes of, I'm so under level after Magna Malo that just becomes more of a repetitive play the previous missions and then I can rank up more and more, which like I said, with friends it's not so bad, but when you don't want to feel like a leech or like a burden, then it starts to feel like that after a while, especially because they do get harder and you do start to rank up over time, especially when you play with friends or more players as you go along.
Yeah, I found that like when I hit the wall with Magna Malo in the online, I defeated every little check. Like, I play with defeating all the checks. So I did like at HR1, I did all the checks, HR2, all the checks. So I beat all the monsters, and I had the equipment for the level that I had, and I just couldn't with Magnum. He was like a 1-2 hitter. Like, like one time he would just like one hit KO, and then the second time he had a 2-hit KO, and it was like he'd follow it up. It wouldn't be like, oh, I hit you and let you walk. No, he hit you and then pounce on you again, and so there was no getting up. So it was definitely 2-hit KO. It was very hard to play this one. I feel like Peter and Dank had to like rank me up to pass Magnamalo, and then I know I helped you with somebody else. I don't remember who else was with us, but I remember we had randoms. To like, huh?
I said random. We just clicked the anybody can join button.
Yeah, and then they had to help us to bring you. Like I was already in the next level, and so I had the better armor for after him, and it's just like he was a pain in the booty to deal with, because of his movements. And even if you understand his movements, it wasn't easy, let's just put it that way, to get past him. So I did like that, like you can summon help, like you can pick so that only the people in your hub can join you, or you can pick that you want outside help, and the outside help, you can just, when you're the one coming in from outside, you just pick the mission you want to help somebody in, and usually 9 times out of 10 it'll find you a mission real quick of somebody who's already doing that mission to help you progress, which I really like, because then the person who's looking for the mission to redo can click the mission they wanted to help with, and the person who needs us, like we needed help, we can request help from people who are looking for that same mission. And I really, really like that aspect of the game. I know there was in the online, I don't know if this was in the single player too, there's optional missions that you have to click so that you get extra stuff while you're beating it. So like some of these optional quests are like, hey, beat the monster. You're already doing that, so might as well click that optional quest. You get more items, you get more spheres that'll help you level up your equipment, upgrade your equipment. What else about the multiplayer? Oh, I did like that, like say I like in previous games, I don't remember this being a thing, so I could be wrong, that when you started a mission, if you left people behind in the hub world, they could just click the mission after you've gone in and join in. The monsters would get a little stronger once they're like, you would know once people started coming in that the monsters would be just slightly stronger every time somebody would come in. So really, really enjoyed that, like if you left your friends behind, they can still join you. It wasn't like, oh well, you're assed out now, you either have to come out and start the mission again and you lost that food that you ate. It was like, yeah, I can come back. And then we did have disconnects between us two, and like as long as you didn't pick something, it would let you back in the mission, right? Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I remember. You have to abort the mission and not complete the mission, because if you abort it, you don't get the items. If you complete it, you get whatever items that are left over. So you have to make sure that you lose all your items and all the experience to rejoin back in, because if you don't, then it won't let you continue that previous one you had left.
I know I DC'd once. We were playing an online lobby, so we had 4 of us, and 2 of them were randoms, and then the other 2 with us. And so like we had 2 monsters that we were fighting, like those stupid, like what is that?
Yeah, 2v2. Yeah, like the red, like 2 monsters.
Yeah, the red ones, and like we had just beat one of those red guys, the one with that freaking tongue, and I DC'd. So I was like, oh crap, we already beat one and the other one is pretty far down. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finish this mission. You finish with the randoms, and I'll finish my mission. I know you tried to get into my room because I was the one who originally started the hub, but since I DC'd, it wouldn't let you in, right?
Right.
So I had to finish that mission on my own. But what I do like is that when you DC from the group, you are still playing. Like, you can continue playing the game on single player. Obviously, like I said before, the monsters are just ever so slightly harder than in the village quest, but you can still play the missions and still keep going. Like, you finished a little before me because obviously you had help and I was by myself. But like I was able to still complete the mission, still get the rewards. Like DCing didn't, besides ejecting you from a lobby, didn't like really hurt too bad. Like the players, got their monsters got ever so slightly a little easier. And for me, it was just a stronger mission.
Yeah, the with the DCing is cool. Like they give you two options to leave or leave and complete it. The only issue I had with it is that after a certain point, if the game decides to, it just won't let you play with players online. Like after a certain, because I think I might have it still screenshotted or like had posted it on Discord, but at a certain point it just wouldn't let me play online anymore. Like, so after like so many amount of time, and it wouldn't even me be just leaving, that would just be the game itself kicking me. It would just completely just not let you play with other players, which is like I've never experienced that with like other Nintendo games.
Right. So you think it was a punishment because they felt like you were doing it on purpose?
It was more like I was forced to, but yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I mean, obviously you didn't do it on purpose. I'm just saying, do you think that was just like a system that they put in place?
Had rendered it too many disconnections.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I obviously didn't disconnect that many times. I disconnected maybe my whole experience playing up to HR 7 maybe 3 times that I DC'd. And I'm going to tell you that I'm always connected to a landline. So I don't know why I DC'd. I don't know if it was a glitch or what. But there were definitely 3 times where I was the DC'er. Thankfully, one of the times it happened in the very beginning of the mission, and we just restarted it. But otherwise, I do like that there is a system in place for when DCs happen, and where most games don't figure out like, okay, what happens if the player leaves situation. This game, it's like, all right, this is what's gonna happen if the player leaves. So that was my thing with the online, that I actually kind of like that there was something in place for it. Like most games don't think about that. All right, so the last section we are going to talk about is the rating section. So this is our personal ratings. This is not anybody else's rating. My rating, Monaco's rating on the game. From 1 to 5, what would you rate this game?
Out of 1 to 5?
From 1 to 5. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best.
Again, when I give this score, this is the base game on release, no updates, no DLCs, none of that. If I had to rate Monster Hunter Rise, the base game, and from my experience with NGG, playing online and everything, it's definitely, it's a 3. Monster Hunter Rise gets a 3 from me. I know, right? Yeah, I saw your eyes. We're bringing it back from the Resident Evil one. But no, it's a 3 from the Magna Mallow sections, from the online to the skill tree. The food mechanics, it's not that bad, but it's just like it's so much understanding and math with the food skill tree. Armor, not so much. Armor was pretty decent, I'll give that at least. The replayability from monsters to items to, like I said again, to upgrade, coming back to the skill tree, it's just a lot. And like I said, it was fun at first until you get to Magna Mallow or like HR 6 or 5, whatever his max one is, to the next upgrade. And then after that, just felt like a chore. And then, not to mention, after Magna Mallow, you fight monsters that are weaker than him, and then the stronger ones come when you're about to rank up, which makes sense, obviously. But I just don't like, at a certain point, there's this unbalance between hard and like normal like monster fighting. So it becomes more of a chore and more of a, I need higher ranking like friends or players to even get through most of these missions, instead of, oh, this is my skill, this is my understanding, instead of it. And now it just becomes like a power skill pretty much. So from, like I said, from base game, from playing it through the online and everything, from going through skill trees, multiple weapons, eating food, buying items, getting bullets, it's a 3. Like I said, it was fun, but damn, it became a chore once you get to Magna Mallow.
All right. So for me, just the base game alone. Guess also not the DLC. Just from what we played of the base game, because we didn't play past anything. We didn't download the DLC because I just wanted to review just the base game. I would say this is a 4.8 for me. I was super addicted to this game. Like, literally, I didn't record any videos. I would play with whoever would play with me. I played with you, played with Peter, I played with Bubbles, I played with Shaitori. I played with whoever could play with me. Even if it meant, like, I even played with Hector, and he was very new to the game. I was like, I'll help you rank up. I'll play with anybody. I was super addicted to this game when it came out. And I think I played it for like a month straight without really taking a break to play something else. So I was super, super addicted. Yeah, I got frustrated with the Magnamalo in the hub world, not in the village quest, but in the hub world. I got super annoyed with him. And I did get annoyed with after HR6 monsters. I couldn't like beat them on my own, but like I feel like that was just the part of like learning to play, the discovery of getting better. And it's like really like HR6, the last mission was HR7, so you couldn't go higher than that. So obviously it made sense that the HR6 would be super hard and challenging. So it didn't bother me that they made it hard. Like had the game been a breeze to play through, I think that would have been super frustrating, especially on a game that's based on hunting boss battles. So I really, 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 really liked this game. I did enjoy my experience playing this online with multiple people who, like I said again, whoever would play with me. So I didn't have a hard time with this game whatsoever. But that's just my personal experience with this game. This is obviously, again, based on the base game, not the DLC. I couldn't tell you anything past the DLC. Okay, so we are going to say goodbye to our co-host, and he's going to tell us where to find him.
Alright, hey everyone, you can find me on YouTube at Manaka97 Anime News /reviews, and you can also find me on Twitter at Manaka97 Anime News, where I talk about everything and anything new upcoming for anime and anime-based video games. Also do voiceovers and some new projects in the works, so you can catch me on Twitter and YouTube if you would like to, and I'm headed on over to NGG to cap off the video.
Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Again, I'm always happy to share my experiences with you guys. I hope this review video was super informative for you guys. Thanks for watching. Happy gaming. Bye.